Are you planning to be a trader, an investor, or both? This is a question that I get asked all the time. But before I begin, I should add that personally, I'm in both camps, investing for the long term as well as trading for the short to medium term. So where do you see yourself? I really believe that it does come down to your passion and your time commitments. In my opinion, the majority of people, I really believe that should be sitting in the investing camp and actually be better off investing rather than actively trading short term. Why? Here, I'm actually going to give you 3 advantages and disadvantages of each, which should help you decide which camp that you fall into. Let's now begin with investing disadvantages. One of the disadvantages that I see is the slow feedback time, which actually doesn't allow you to know if you've made the right choice until months, and in some cases even years down the track. Secondly, there's that long-term capital commitment, which means that potential opportunity cost does come about because your funds now can't be committed elsewhere. And lastly, you may have heard of the buy and hold, and to leave it under the draw stock, which means that you can actually get too comfortable and hence never review any of your investments made in a timely manner. On the other hand though, investing also has its advantages. The first I'll begin is that you will incur much lower transaction costs, where buy, sell, and spread costs are minimal because of that inactivity of transactions. And secondly, due to that longer term nature, there is inherently a lower risk, as the timing of entry and exit of that investment isn't as vital when compared to active trading. And lastly, there's a much lesser time commitment, with perhaps even just a simple weekly or even monthly review being adequate. Let's now get into the trading disadvantages. Firstly, trading definitely will incur much higher transaction costs, although it actually can be minimized through choosing the right online discount broker. And secondly, because you're now making decisions much more often, it actually can be psychologically taxing to your emotions, especially when you get things wrong, which will happen quite often. And lastly, while we mentioned that there is much lesser time commitment required when you do invest, for example, trading is on actually the opposite end of the scale, because now you need to be abreast of current market conditions, of the events, and also individual stock news. Now, trading advantages. Firstly, if you like learning, trading will speed up that learning progress, as feedback of trades placed can be within a matter of days and weeks, not months or years like investing. And secondly, you'll find an immense amount of flexibility to enter and exit according to your rules and market conditions, and even be totally in cash if the market actually dictates this. And finally, the biggest advantage that you will find is that it will be mentally rewarding, as you'll find that opportunities are such in abundance, and hence that you can actually now choose and pick the very best that fit your criteria and rules. So the question is, where do you see yourself? And for those who know my story personally, I began as a long-term Warren Buffett type value investor. But then as time went by, I progressed into the trader that I am today. And I always say to those who want to trade, to invest first, because if you've never invested in your life, it will then give you that confidence to progress towards trading for a living. There really is no shame in being a long-term investor, because you can do quite well just through investing if you do it right. I mean, you just got to look at Warren Buffett, for example. I've learned that finding and keeping long-term great stocks is a great way to build wealth. And at the same time, trading a diversified portfolio of strong, stable stocks can also generate a higher return, as money is used much more efficiently, since there is no longer that opportunity cost of not being able to purchase something because you've got long-term commitments elsewhere. So I really encourage you to really look hard at yourself, because I simply believe that your success in the markets really does depend primarily on marrying your personality and then deciding whether you want to trade, invest, or both. So I encourage you to take that action today and make that decision. You really will thank yourself by taking that time out to analyze what you are and then sticking with it long term. Talk to you soon. Hey guys, it's Terry. Hope you liked this episode. If you did, you can do 2 things right now to continue your journey. Firstly, you can subscribe right here to my channel, which will allow you to receive my videos on a fortnightly basis to help you in your investing and trading journey. And secondly, you can go to my website and get my Fast Start 10-step stock checklist and video lessons for free by simply clicking on the link right here. So if you'd like to do that, just click on any of the buttons that you see here. I really look forward to seeing you on the next video and showing you even more tips and tricks to achieving consistent investing and trading results.